Hi guys, what's up, what's down, what's sideways? Day 79, chronic fatigue syndrome, my friend, my enemy, my constant companion. How's it going? So day 79. Don't know what to title this. Maybe me and a cure, or cure and I. Yeah, there we go. Reminds me of that old story of the king and I. Yeah, so you see a lot of people hunting for a cure and wishing there was a cure and offering up cure suggestions. You know, it doesn't matter if they've had chronic fatigue syndrome or not. Everyone's got a cure. You know, suck a toad underneath the light of the full moon whilst dancing the Charleston. That kind of thing. And like every chronic illness that doesn't have a good like isn't instantly curable has that kind of thing. You know, there's really blah suggestions. As I shared in an earlier video, you know, it seems like sometimes God CFS is God's joke to normal people. And I'm wording that not the right way, but kind of you're never wanting for someone who's got the latest cure. I made another video about, you know, the person curing themselves with numerology. Man, if it was only that easy. Anyway, see, I'm knocking numerology. I'm knocking it, but you know, yeah, maybe there's something I don't know, and this whole time I should have gone and tried numerology. Anyway, we'll leave that one down. But I was just thinking about it. I can't remember. Oh, sorry. I can't remember. It's very odd to feel sleepy. I can't remember like a time when I think as a child I wished there was a cure. But I can't remember that transition between I really wish there was a cure to, you know, how can I just improve this thing that, like, you know, I've got this thing to work with, how can I improve it? So I don't actually remember that transition, and I can't remember ever really wanting a cure, in the sense of, like, you know, gotta find a cure. Not wanting a cure. Of course I wanted a cure. I mean, like, you know, oh my goodness, what's the latest studies? I'm sure as a child I must have, but I can't remember it. But the thing is, as a child, that's when I had like so many tests done on me. It got to the point where I used to throw a tantrum. I used to get like a panic attack, the sight of needle, and you know, a small ill boy used to have two adults to pin him down for a test. I've been lucky. I've only ever had one invasive test, and that's where they stuck a tube down my nose into my gut and monitored me. That was down at the Royal big hospital down south, I think in Sydney it was. We flew down for tests, and that is a big study going on at the time for chronic fatigue syndrome, and I was part of it. Anyway, yeah, so that was that was pleasant, like when you're feeling it going in, and then when you're feeling it coming out, it's like, oh, it just makes your toes curl, and not the happy way. So that was my invasive one, but you know, like trying all these medications, trying like so many blood tests. I was very lucky that I wasn't ever put on, like, because I had friends who were treated for depression, like, oh, you've got chronic fatigue because you're depressed, we'll treat the depression. as opposed to, you know, you're kind of permanently not well. That's going to make you a little bit down. You know, you're likely to develop some sort of depressed state from it. Yeah, that happened to friends and people I knew. They were treated for depression. They had chronic fatigue syndrome. They were treated for depression, and like that was not. It's not the depression is not the problem. You know, we're not depressed, therefore have chronic fatigue syndrome. We have chronic fatigue syndrome, therefore we become depressed. It's any person in an awful state is going to feel less than they could, you know. So they were treated for depression, and then they became vegetables. They're vegetables, you know. They're just, yeah, more so than the CFS was making them. So I was very lucky that I didn't have that. I think, I'm pretty sure I did go to, Mum could confirm this, pretty sure I did go to some sort of like psychiatrist and that, because they were trying to figure out whether or not I was I unwell, and or psychologists. Yes, that's ringing a bell. You know, was I unwell and not good, or was I, you know, that basically, you know, was CFS the cause of the depression, or was depression the cause of CFS, that kind of thing. And my mum was always told, like, nah, he's a normal little boy who's not well. So I was lucky that the people that I did get introduced to were level-headed and like looked at me there and like, no, it's just this. And also that my parents were level-headed, and they would listen to what the other person was saying, and if it didn't match reality, then they would like get up and walk away. But that being said, we tried some weird stuff. Well, I don't know if it's weird. It's strange. We tried many different things. Many different things. So I don't know if I started to equate finding a cure with trying something else or another battery of tests in that way, and then, you know, it was never kind of like a I've got to find a cure, because it would just mean another lot of tests or another pill or concoction or another something else like that. But at the same time, I didn't want to be sick. You know, I didn't want to be unwell. I didn't, you know, it's a little bit of a hoot as a kid, because like, oh, you get to watch TV. This was the days before the internet, people. It was worse, and I couldn't get to the library. Anyway, so I get to watch TV and read books and stuff like that. So, like, we did get to the library, and my family has books, and they'd go to the library. But it's not the same when you can like take yourself to the library and come home with 20 books. So your form of entertainment when you are bedridden is minimal. So of course I wanted to get well, and it was kind of a hoot for a little bit, like, oh, I get to do this weird stuff that I've never got to do, you know, read during the day and rah rah rah. But it wasn't like I wish I could spend the rest of my life like this. You know what's fun? Spending the rest of my life like this. So that wasn't me. So I would love to be well, or better, whatever that is. I would love to know what having a good night's sleep, like, I know of good night sleeps. I've experienced them in the last decade. Yes. Yeah, I've had a couple in the last decade. I'm sure I've had more. Just can't remember. So it'd be nice, that kind of thing. It'd be nice to know what it's like to, you know, on a regular basis, like, if what I eat will allow me to fuel my energy and allow me to do all the physical things that I want to do. At the moment, the way I eat, it allows me to do what I can do, and I can certainly do more than if I ate poorly. I don't eat poorly. I eat good foods. I eat well. It's but at the same time, like, yes, I can feel good with it, and I could do stuff, but it's not the same as, like, if a normal body gets movement, if it gets the right food, if it gets the right recovery, and it's got a good mind nutrition as well, like, it's pretty phenomenal what it can do. I don't ever allow myself the idea that I can't do that. It's just I am a bit behind on the ball on energy-wise or recovery-wise or something like that. So I would love to not have chronic fatigue syndrome. I would love to not have fibromyalgia syndrome. I would love to not have to continue this fight every day. Or, if not fight, this state every day. I would love that. I cannot convey to you how much I would love that. But I don't chase a cure. I just try and work on what I have and improving it. And maybe if one day that leads to me being better, then amazing. Until that day, I will not overspend my energy and my time and my mental space chasing something that I do not have the tools nor the intelligence to formulate and come up with myself. As a director, I will find a cure. I will devote every waking hour to finding a cure, or trying to lobby for someone to find a cure so we get more money. Like, that's not a good use of my time, I feel. But improving myself and the lives of those that I come in contact with, that I feel is a good use of my time and energy. I can handle that. So, yeah, forgot what I was going to call this, but thank you very much for letting me share with you Day 79. If you've got any questions or comments, like to introduce yourself, feel free. I will reply. Or will I? But I will reply. Thank you very much once again for letting me share this with you. Like, share, subscribe, hit the little notification button, and you guys have a good weekend.